start the session of today's, and then we will go towards the interactive part. So can I get the introduction from first you, Haritika?
Hello everyone, good evening.
Mm-hmm.
I am Haritika Vats. I am PhD scholar in NIT Kurukshetra
Okay.
and my domain is environmental economics. I have joined this course for better understanding of the subject.
Next, sir, Krishna, sir.
Hello, madam. I am actually a retired faculty member in electrical engineering. I took this course as just to my curiosity about the environment and economics because that is the now today burning topic among the nations and as well as our own country. So just for my knowledge. Yeah.
Amir.
Good evening, madam. Good evening to everyone. Myself, Dr. Amir. I am working as an assistant professor in Chennai, B.S. Subramanian Christian Institute of Science and Technology. And my specialization is same environmental economics. So I just selected the course to know about clear my things and all those.
Sure.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Next is Archana. Udita.
Good evening, ma'am. I am from West Bengal. I have done my MSc in economics and specialization in environmental economics. Currently, I am pursuing B.Ed degree, and I want to get better knowledge about this subject, so I joined this course.
Naveen. Anyone else who want to introduce themselves, you can do. Then we will start the session. Okay. So I'll share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So a very warm greetings to you all. This is me, Sonam Dolkar. I am a PhD scholar in Department of Sustainable Energy Engineering. I'm working under Professor Anup Singh on power system economy, regulation, and policy. So the current course we are trying to learn is okay. So this is the course which for which I'll be taking the live sessions either on Tuesday or on Friday. So today we will just talk about the basic economic part, and then the lecture which the professor had covered in the first week module. So if you have any doubt in between, you can interrupt with me, or if you want me to explain something in detail, then also you can just unmute yourself and let me know. Am I audible to everyone? If there is any uh, distraction from my part also because of voice issue or anything, please let me know. Okay, unless there is any interruption, I'm assuming that there is everything is clear from my side, right? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am. Everything
Yeah,
is fine.
sure, sure. Okay. So today I will cover what a professor had covered, like a little bit of summary on what he had talked about in the first week lecture, and then some basic principle of economics, and then we will talk about EKC curve, environmental Kuznets curve, and then we will solve some of the problem the which are uploaded either on the portal as a problem which is as a assignment of last year, or some other few questions which I have prepared. So the course name is Environmental and Resource Economics. The course outline are first the interaction between economy and environment, then the welfare implication of national income, then what are the issues of sustainable development, what is the definition of sustainable development, and how we can achieve it. So in economic sense, how we define the sustainable development, that we will cover. And then the next part is what is the difference between economic growth, economic development, and what is the impact of economic growth on the environmental degradation. And then we will learn about externalities, that is the impact of economic growth on the negative impact of economic growth on the environment, and then what are the methods to regulate the externalities. And then the next part, we will learn the impact of uncertainty and information asymmetry on the choice of policy instruments. So to regulate the impact of economic growth on environmental degradation, we set up certain policies and regulations so as to direct the economy in certain ways. So when the policy instruments are being made, what are the challenges, what are the information asymmetry which we face, so that we will cover. And then the methods of economic valuation of environmental goods. So the and we cannot give specific value to the air quality. We cannot say this specific pricing to the environment. So how can we give valuation to the environmental goods and services? So we will cover. And then the last part is optimal extraction of certain kind of resource, so that the environmental growth is also there, and there is least impact on the environment. So the reference which the professor has mentioned is this book. So these are various modules the course is designed as. I hope I'm audible. If there is anything, any questions or anything, you can interrupt in between. So the first module is about the interaction between economy and the environment. So here we talked about the how the economy and environment affect each other, what is their interlinkages, and how we justify that there is a requirement of environmental economics. So this is being covered in the first week lecture. So economy is a discipline in which we allocate the certain kind of resources which is scarce, which is not available unlimited, efficiently, and so that we draw the maximum utility or satisfaction out of it. So since environment is a scarce resource, we can say that optimal allocation of environmental resources is needed. So for this, the economics plays an important role in the context of environmental management or dealing with the various consequences because of economic growth. So in economy, we say that there are three main components, that is economic agents, institution, and market. So economic agents are those entities who take the economic decisions, such as firm or an individual who takes certain kind of consumption or production decisions. And then institution are those who set up certain market rules so that the market functions properly, uh, and shape the behavior of economic agent for certain way. Then the market is the one in which the interlinkages between the agents and institution take place. Then now it's a week zero assignment which is being asked. So, what is economic all about? So, the answer to this is, can I get some response?
C, madam.
C. Okay. Any more responses, please? If
It
is
is
it
C
C?
only.
Yeah. So economy is about the optimal allocation of scarce resources efficiently, so that we draw the maximum utility, which I have talked about. So this is C. Then the second part is that why economy is needed, and when will it be redundant?
A, madam.
Yes. Economics will be redundant when there is unlimited resources, right? I hope there is no doubt in this. Okay, now the professor had talked about the interlinkages between environment and economy. So, uh, in uh, in any kind of firm, or the economic agents produce certain kind of goods and services, and the consumer consumes, right? So, for the production, the environment act as a supplier of energy as well as material. So the role of services which we draw from environment, first one is supply of energy and material. This is our E1. After production, we recycle certain kind of production, and other goods and services are being consumed. So in both the production and consumption end, there is a certain level of recycling, and then the factors of production are being given from the consumption to production side, and then from production, where various kind of emissions as well as the waste are being generated, which will be thrown out to the waste sink. So the environment such as landfills, mountains, or ocean will be acting as a waste sink capacity. uh, After that, from consumption also there is linkages with wasting capacity, and then the environment also give us the service of amenity value. So amenity value will be like the scenic beauty, or the happiness which we draw from the beauty of nature can be termed as uh, amenity value. So overall, E4 will be the combined service which we draw from environment, that is E1, E2, and E3. So this indicates the maintenance of proper atmospheric composition and climatic condition. So the environment, like for human survival, for the survival of all the plants and animals, the atmospheric condition and climatic condition should be suitable. But when there is certain high production and higher consumption, and leading to the various local as well as global pollutions, then the climatic condition will not be suitable. So the environment to some extent will replenish themselves and provide the waste sink capacity, and make the environment suitable for the humans or for other flora and fauna. So this is E4. So the consumption and production have also linkages with the E4. So the environment is defined as summation of geosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. So this is how the environment overall we can look as. Is there any doubt in this? Uh, Hello. Okay. Now this E1, that is a supplier, the environment will supply the material, the environment will act as a waste sink capacity, and then it also gives the amenity values. But when these three are overlapping set, and they are not available in abundance. So the in this three are overlapping sets, and with increase in one set, we have to reduce the other set. So let's say if we produce a high amount of energy and if we use a high amount of energy and raw material from the environment, then the amenity value will be degraded. So this E1, E2, E3 are traded. So at the cost of amenity value, we use environment as wasting capacity, or we draw the energy from the environment. Therefore, but we cannot say that I want nature, I don't want to degrade the environment, because the economic growth, the uh, services which we draw from the draw are needed. However, if we produce a certain level of economic growth, but there is no environmental services, then we will face another problem. So the optimal E1, E2, and E3 from the environment is decided from economy. So therefore, we need to learn the environmental economics, so as to say that we need to grow in certain way while maintaining the environmental concerns in mind. Sorry, keep going. Am I audible? And okay. Is there any doubt in between? Please let me know.
Yes, madam, you are audible, ma'am. So
Yes.
regarding this even ma'am, so like if we will correlate the industrial growth
Mm-hmm.
with the levels of pollution and resource depletion, how
Mm-hmm.
does this industrial growth we can correlate?
Let's say any firm A, okay. So firm A, when they produce a certain kind of goods and services, let's say they are coal power plants, and they are producing electricity. So their raw material is coal. So they use coal so as to produce electricity. So when we draw electricity from the coal, this can be defined as E1, and maybe the ashes which we derive from the power plant can be called as waste, right? So when we need electricity, so we have to produce from the firm. But when we use high amount of coal, then the emissions will be high. So if we draw from any like uh, power plant, then we can call as a coal plant. Or we can say, let's say there is a production of a chair, then the chair manufacturer will use certain kind of rubber or any kind of material. So that will be our E1. Is it clear?
Okay.
Any point you want to add, then you can add, please.
No, no, ma'am. You please proceed. Then we will cease, ma'am. Let's we can
Okay,
have.
sure, sure. Okay, then okay. Now the question is, what are the factors of production? Uh, what are the factors of production? This is basic economy. So in to produce certain kind of goods, what are the input which we use?
Are you asking the question for us?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Land, labor, capital, organization, or entrepreneurship?
Sure, sure, sure. That is right. And can I get the answer of this question? Like the demand for factors of production is called,
Derived demand.
and this is because uh, maybe you can say the answer. Why it is called derived demand? Because yes, ma'am.
There is
Okay.
no direct demand for labor na, from
Sure.
consumer.
Yes, yes, that is right, ma'am. So the derived demand is like the factors of production will be the demand for factors of production will be there only when there is production. So therefore, it is termed as derived demand. Is it clear?
Madam, can you please explain that once again? Previous.
Okay. So the factors of production are labor service, material, and entrepreneurship. So here, what we can say that for to produce certain kind of goods, we will use capital, that is land and long-term materials, and then we will use labor, and then we will use raw materials, right? So we are saying that the demand for factors of production will be dependent directly on the uh, uh, number of output which we are producing from the firm. Therefore, it is called derived demand because it is directly derived from the output. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Next one is environmental economics is concerned with. So this is B and D, that is natural economic as a component of economic system and valuation of environmental goods and services. So maybe you can add some point if any one of you want to say, or this is
Uh,
clear, I guess. Yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah, B. B.
So
Yes.
in B, what we are saying that
See also can
normally
Adam.
in you are not audible, ma'am.
See also quantifying the environmental problems is also there in the environmental economics, na?
No, it is there. Yes, we can say that we are not quantifying environmental problem. We are matlab, in a way, in environmental economics, we'll say first we will include environment into the system, right? Then we will give value to the air quality. We will give value to the various environmental goods and services. But the environmental problems, how we can you elaborate how we can quantify the environmental problems?
Quantifying is related to measurement, na?
Sorry,
Measurement.
measurement. Yes, we can
Measurement
say.
of carbon emission, the measurement of pollution,
Hmm.
how many
But
decibels noise pollution will take place.
yes, but in environmental economics, we are trying to maximize the utility while keeping in mind the uh, concerns which we are drawing towards the environment, right? So
Huh.
the reduction in environmental problem is there, but directly quantifying environmental problem, I don't think is included in the environmental economics.
Okay.
Is it clear? Or
Yes.
you want to add some more point? You can add.
No, madam, the confusion is
Mm-hmm.
a valuation same as quantifying. You say what is the difference between environmental problems and environmental goods and services?
Okay, environmental.
Example. You can give some
Uh,
examples. Yeah.
yeah, and
But it is
yes. Hello.
you asked about how to quantify the environmental problems or environmental economic problems.
I didn't get you.
Because
Sorry.
no, you just said no, how to quantify the environmental problems. Is it?
Hmm. No, no. I'm saying that and out of this all choices, we can say that environmental economics will give value to the environmental goods and services. Environmental goods and services includes the um, air quality, includes the amenity value of the environment. So they are giving value to this
That
like.
will be, I think, when it is an environmental problems. How to quantify the environmental problems, then we can talk about this ecological footprint and gas emission and stuff. But I think when it is quantifying environmental economic problems, because that measures the value of environmental goods and services, like cost and benefits of environmental policy.
Mm-hmm.
It may come like impacts of environmental change,
Okay.
Yeah.
which sir was talking about the valuation method,
Mm-hmm.
like market price.
Yes.
Yeah.
In economics, there is a revealed preference method, the theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. So I think That
Yeah,
may be.
yeah. I also feel that
See,
both C and D looks
Mm-hmm.
like
yeah, this question, madam, is little bit tricky one.
Yeah.
Environmental economics is concerned with everything, production and allocation of natural resources also comes under that, not only B and D.
Mm, yes. I agree on
Because
this. That. Yes.
because production only gives all these problems, na?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, production starts. If production is not proper, then only the environmental degradation and all whatever we are related to environment, that is related to production only, na? If proper production is not done,
Mm-hmm.
then the environmental problems are there. Then valuation of environmental goods and services is related to that.
yes. I also agree, madam, because creation of renewable resources comes under production of natural resources. So I think
Yes.
all are valid. Looks like, yeah.
Yeah. All
All
are.
are valid.
Yes. But
This
That is
particular,
green. That is environmental green GDP. That is what, madam. That environmental degradation and depletion of natural resources.
yes,
So,
yes, yes.
madam, you proceed, please. Okay, you
Yeah.
may not have the economics background, I think. So you can proceed, ma'am. We are.
Yes. Okay. So next one is which of the following is reason why the conventional microeconomic principle cannot be used to study the allocation of environmental and natural resources. So here we can discuss more about the same which we are saying. Anyone wants to make points, then you can do.
All of the above, madam.
Yes. So here what we are saying is that the conventional economy is statistic and they are neglecting the future implications of investment decision, which is correct. Then environmental and natural resources are often public goods. So they are if one person degrade the environment, then we cannot say that they are levying the cost unless there is inclusion of a certain kind of carbon tax or anything on that person. Then third one is many decisions about the environmental and natural resources are irreversible, and then market does not exist for the environmental goods and services such as air quality, water quality, and emissions and all. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. Next is environmental resources are the gross production value of world's goods and services, the maintenance of productivity of natural, produced, and human assets, and then the resource provided by nature and cannot be allocated unit by unit. So, which one is correct? The last one is the total amount of solar energy being converted to the biochemical energy through plant photosynthesis.
I feel C, madam. C.
Yes, that is correct. So here what we are saying is that the environmental resources cannot be allocated unit by unit because this is like a bigger quantity which like the certain firm cannot use it directly, right? Let's say emission, if a firm is emitting, then the air is the property of everyone. So that is how we are trying to navigate through it. Is it correct? Okay. Now. Next one is the justification of studying environmental economics. So how we are justifying that we need environmental economics beyond the current economy concepts which we have. So the utility function and for the environmental economics or sorry, the utility function for the jth individual can be the function of marketable goods and environmental goods and services. So the marketable goods includes food, shelter, clothes, computers, or any other goods which we use, and then the environmental goods and services will include environmental cleanliness and then environmental quality such as air and water quality. So let's say the jth individual the utility of jth individual with respect to the driving car. So the utility will initially increase with utility of individual with increase with driving car. However, the impact of driving car will be having negative uh, impacts on the air quality. So due to air quality, the utility is affected negative. So the net impact of driving car is not known whether it is positive or negative. So this is the trade-off which we are playing between environmental quality and production of various marketable goods. So similar kind of examples which we can say in any kind of manufacturing process. So whether to produce a higher amount of certain goods so that we get more utility. However, this will impact negatively on the environment due to emissions, due to extraction of raw material, due to production of various waste. So this will be decided through environmental economics. Therefore, we are studying how the certain kind of production will impact the utility. Okay, then the module 2 of the course talk about the economic growth and environmental degradation. So first, the explanation of EKC curve, and then the limitation, and then what are the policy implications. So the environmental goodness curve postulate that the emission per capita will increase with increase in income per capita. So the with increase in income per capita, the emission per capita will increase initially. However, once it achieves certain level, then the emission per capita will reduce. So, in this school of thoughts, they are saying that the environment will take care of itself after certain kind of economic growth. So, when the economy grows, when the country, let's say it's a developing country, its emission per capita is increasing. After a certain level, it will reduce. So that is what the curve is saying. So the explanation to the EKC curve is that uh, this is because when the per capita income increases, initially this will be due to increase in agriculture production and then enhanced manufacturing process and then the service. So this leads to the uh, emission higher. Agriculture process have lesser emission. However, with increase in the manufacturing of certain goods or manufacturing of various products, then the this will be energy intensive, leading to the higher emissions. And then the service sector will grow up, which is cleaner. So that is one of the explanation that the emission will increase and then it will reduce. Second one is scaling effect. With in scaling effect have always negative impact, because when we increase the number of production, the emission will increase. Then the third one is technological effect. So technological effect means that when the emission per capita increases, the efficient technology will be adopted, because of which the emission will be reduced. Then the composition effect, which have positive, and then technological and economic technological and composition effect have a positive impact in both the uh, both the growth and then the international trade. So here, foreign direct investment transfer. So I think that FDI will have both the positive as well as negative impact. Let's say that if foreign direct investment is on renewable sources to the developing country, or renewable technologies or any kind of cleaner technology, then it will have positive. However, the FDI on various other manufacturing process will lead to the reduction in the lead to the increased emission. So FDI will be mostly transferred from developed to developing country. So for lower per capita income, level, the emission will be higher. Then there is the discussion about pollution heaven hypothesis. Here we said that in developed country, there is more stringent policy because they are at certain level of economy, and there is various clean energy policies and emission standards that they have to fulfill. So uh, the firms or the investor try to move towards the developing country where there is lesser regulations on the environment. So therefore, the emissions will be higher in the country with lower per capita incomes. So that is one of the explanation. Is there any comment which you want to make or any questions?
Is there is any empirical evidence like supporting this EKC hypothesis in the context of India?
In the context of India, you're asking that
Or
how
in
the uh,
empirical evidence like supporting this Kuznets curve?
uh, EKC, we are developing countries, so I think that the emissions, like let's say, I don't think there is any empirical evidence which I
Um,
covered,
Madam,
but
Madam, I have one viewpoint.
yes.
See, unlike China, we have not entered manufacturing era.
Hmm.
So most of the emissions come from manufacturing. Okay. So today, if you look at our economy is predominantly in the service economy and agriculture economy.
Hmm.
Agriculture economy is anyway low carbon emission, and service economy is almost no emissions.
Hmm.
So we have not experienced the kind of peak as China experienced. That's
Uh,
what my people. Yeah.
Yes, I also think that right now we are at our emission, the country's emission is increasing. So for now we are at the increasing emission curve rather than reducing. But if we talk about the developed countries such as United States, then we can say that they have achieved the level at which their emission per capita is starting to reduce with increase in their incomes. So
Yeah. I feel that our emissions are mostly due to coal power plants. Am I correct in India?
yes, coal power plant is one of the major contributor of emissions. Beside that, the heavy metals production industries such as steel and steel manufacturing are one of the major contributors. So the manufacturing industry and coal industry, because in terms of electricity production, almost 70% of the generation is from coal power plant. Even though we have certain level of RE capacity addition, there is no storage capacity, or the capacity utilization factor of storage is less. So
Uh,
yes,
yeah.
we can say that.
Madam, Madam, can we say that on per capita basis, we are better than China in terms of emissions per capita? Because
Mm,
Chinese population is more as same as Indian population, but
mhm.
China has a huge manufacturing and polluting, and we don't have much that kind level of thing. But if you take emissions per capita, we are
Mhm.
less than China. Can we say that?
But it comes with various costs, I guess, because first of all, the income per capita of India is lesser than this China, right? So
No, no, income is okay. I agree. China has a more income per capita, but emissions per capita, we are less than China. That's what I want to make that statement.
but you cannot say that India is performing better just because emission per capita is less, because the inequality between the rich and poor is also high, and there are many many people who are not who are not accessible to the clean electricity or clean fuel also, right, in India. So then we cannot say that India is performing better. So that is what I
Okay.
think. But
Okay.
any other person,
Okay. Okay. I got it, madam. So
you
overall
please.
performance may be less than China, but I'm just focusing on, you know, our individuals contributing to the emissions in India. I'm just
Mhm.
focusing on that part.
Okay, but
Yes.
one mark,
China
That we can say, but matlab, if we talk in economic sense, then overall utility or then utility should be also maximized, right? So here we are like the disparity is very high between the rich and poor. That is what I think. Any other person who wants to add point, please?
yeah, oh, that means you want to say that clean drinking water facilities, clean air, they are also important in
Yes,
environment, right?
that
That
is
means they
true.
are less in India, even though our emission is less, as other teachers said that, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Per capita emission is less in India, that is sure, compared to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you are saying that you are emphasizing on the point that clean and good atmosphere, good air are required for. Yes, is this the point?
Yes, 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 that is what we are trying to make that. Sir is trying to say that since the emission per capita is lesser in India, are we performing better
Yes.
or are we better? But yes,
Yes.
it comes at a cost of various other things like uh, that you have mentioned also that pollution, environment, air pollution, water pollution, and various other things are, I think, higher in India compared to China. So.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Any other person who wants to add any point or
you are telling, ma'am, India is better than China. China is better than India.
uh, from my perspective, I think for now India have lot of scope to reduce its emission and also to reduce the gap between the rich and poor.
China
So
is
that
one of the largest emitters of greenhouse gases globally.
sorry.
China is one of the largest emitters of greenhouse gases at present in globally.
Yes, but they are
Where,
performing. They are performing
where
much better in terms of economy. So
yes,
yeah,
if we, Mhm. Yes,
I,
yes, ma'am.
I agree to your point that in terms of environmental degradation reduction step, China have more scope because they are developed, their economy is better than India, but still they are still trying to increase the economy rather than focusing on the environment, right? India, on the other hand, have various ambitious target to reduce the emissions to enhance the renewable. So that come with the cost of various uh, cost of some barrier to the economic growth. That is what I feel. Do I make the point? When the economy grow, there is emissions, there is pollution, right? But when we try to reduce the pollution, when we try to do various steps in the pollution abatement, environmental degradation abatement, then the economy slow downs majority of the time. So the China is not doing like doing lesser than India. That is, yeah, that is your point. Am I
Yeah.
right?
So that boils down to, suppose if you consider China, madam. So
Hmm.
China is still on the rising path, right? Not on the downward. It is still on the rising. Yes.
Yes, yes.
There will be, we are not sure, there will be per capita emission data also available where I think
Uh,
there will be measuring metric tons, China, but I don't have exact figure.
Sorry, I missed the first part which you said.
This, sorry, ma'am.
You said
No,
there
when
is
we will
data
make a
available.
yes, 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 comparative summary between per capita emission in China and India.
Okay, that I have to check. I haven't checked the data wise, but as far as we know about the both the country, we can say that there is higher scope when the economies like let's say India. If we say that right now, like there is a new announcement by by the government that we will at certain kind of coal capacity by 2030, right? Because of the rising energy demand. Though India is focusing more on the renewable energy, there is requirement of coal production, because RE plus storage or RE plus any other kind of technology is not catching up with the current level of affordability which we have. So these are various kind of economic decisions which the government taking into mind the current level of growth as well as the various environmental concerns. Do you agree on this?
Yes, yes, ma'am, please.
Yes.
This is we are talking about, madam, general relationship. I think there is other relationships like, as you said, socio-economic factors like inequality,
Mm-hmm.
social development indicators,
Yes.
whatever we can say, like social development, education,
Mm-hmm.
health. That
Mm-hmm.
also affects this Kuznets curve relationship.
Yes, but right now we are just trying to draw the direct relationship between income per capita and emission. But the various factor which you are saying will impact the either income, which will affect the income per capita, which in turn will impact the curve. Am I right? Hello.
Okay. Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the fifth path is capital theory of environmental Kuznets curve. Here we are saying that suppose we have a specific number of capitals, like then how we will decide to use this capital in terms of for producing certain kind of goods and for pollution abatement. So we have discussed it already. So we are saying that at lower level of income per capita, that is at this point, we will say that production will be higher than pollution abatement steps. And then for when the income increases, then we can say that more investment will be done to reduce the pollutions along with the various productions. So that is why the curve is defined as such. Now, the economic model of environmental Kuznets curve is given here. Here, we say that any kind of environmental quality in terms of air quality, water quality, or CO2 emission number at certain period of time is dependent on the per capita income at that time, which is shown in this relation. And UIT is the term which capture all the other factors, which is factors other than income per capita in the model. So here when we draw the econometric model, if alpha, beta 1, beta 2 all are 0, then we can say that there is no statistically significance relationship. Statistically significance means the impact of income per capita towards the environmental quality. So if all these coefficients are 0, then there is no relation between these two. And if all the coefficients are more than 0, then we draw this curve. And then if alpha is more than 0, beta 1 is more than 0, and beta 2 is less than 0, then we achieve emission per capita versus income per capita as this curve, which is our EKC curve. So here we can say that EKC curve is applicable only when the relation between income per capita and the environmental degradation have this kind of model where the coefficient value are alpha more than 0, beta 1 more than 0, and beta 2 is less than 0. So initially it will increases, and then gradually it will reduce. So the case 4 is shown here, where alpha is more than 0, beta 1 is less than 0, and beta 2 is more than 0. And then the case 5. So the one of the biggest limitation of environmental Kuznets curve we can see is that it is applicable to the certain foundation of economy where the model fits with the uh, growth of economics. So that is one of the limitation. Uh, Any points you want to make or any questions?
Madam, in the case 4, it's very interesting. You're saying that whether income per capita increases, emission decreases. And can you give an example of the country?
No, this is the model which we are trying to express, that if alpha is more than, we are not saying that there is some country where when we increase the income per capita, the emission will reduce. So I don't think there is any case in which the emission will reduce with increase in income per capita.
Madam,
Yes.
please once again explain the equation properly. What is that
Sorry, I missed your last part. What is?
equation?
Okay, equation.
Equation from the beginning until all the
Okay, so
variables.
the variable which we are saying. So here the YIT is the parameter which we are trying to YIT is our dependent variable. Okay, so in YIT we are saying that the environmental quality, let's say CO2 emission quantity, or uh, uh, like we said, emission per capita, right? That is our YIT. T is certain time. At time T, what is the emission of any individual or any country I. Then alpha is our coefficient, constant coefficient, and then beta 1 is the coefficient of XIT, that where XIT is our income per capita of individual I at time t, and then beta 2 is our second coefficient, and then UIT is the term which captures all the other factor which environmental quality will be dependent, but it is not captured here, because here we are saying only income per capita and the relationship with the environmental quality. Is it clear? So this is an econometric model. So we are trying to fit a data, like let's say we have certain set of data, and then we want to show the value of alpha, beta 1, beta 2. Then if unless the value of alpha is more than 1, beta 1 is more than 0, and beta 2 is less than 0, then only we can capture this kind of relationship. That is what we are trying to say.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yes. Any more questions?
Madam, so that means except for case 3, which we observe empirically, the other cases we don't see in real life, correct?
No, sir. There can be cases of case two, right? There can be a cases in which the emission will continues to increase with increase in per capita. Like we are assuming that, let's say India at certain level of per capita income, the emission will reduce, but not necessarily the emission might reduce, or like India do not achieve that level. So there can be some cases, or
So,
yeah.
so that means continuously keep increasing in a linearly, no
Yes,
peaking.
yes.
Okay.
So,
So that means okay. As I understand, that means
mm,
we don't care about the environment. We don't take any technology measures to reduce emissions as the income. Even though income is increasing, we don't care for the environment. That is the situation, right? Case
yes,
2,
yes, that we
right?
can say, because yeah, that we can say, or we can also say that because of the impact of global warming. Let's say that right now the economy is growing, and at some point of time we say that let's reduce the emission from now on, because now we are at a certain level of economy. But at that time, if whether is it possible to reduce the emission or not, that is the question, because uh, environment is like, let's say a certain level of CO2 is already there, then you are trying to reduce the emission. So everything is dependent on like there is irreversible impact, right? So at that time you cannot reduce the emissions. Let's say impact of global warming also. So when the permafrost started melting, then they produce emissions, and then the uh, and then the global warming happens, like, and then more emission is there, so there is a circular kind of impact of environment. So at that time I think uh, the growth will be steep and increasing only. So do I make the point? So we are saying
Okay,
that
madam.
it is depend on the environmental condition also, and how much capacity the like the environment have to sustain the increase in emission or environmental degradation. So that is dependent on these factors. Okay. Next one is now it's a very basic question. Anyone can tell me that EKC curve is a semicircular curve suggesting the increase in GDP as well as pollution, or U-shaped curve, or is it inverted U-shaped curve, or is it a bell-shaped curve which shows the relationship with concentration of certain pollution emission and per capita GDP?
B, madam.
Sorry, sir.
B, the second one.
Level of development and carbon emission. So exact if we are saying that x-axis and y-axis, if you try to little bit
No, x-axis is a development
uh-huh,
GDP per capita,
uh-huh.
and y-axis is carbon emissions.
Okay, so can we say it as a bell shape also? If we see that the correct answer which they have given is the bell shape,
Oh,
because
okay,
yeah,
okay. I'm sorry. Sorry,
yeah,
I thought it is inverted U shape. I'm correct.
yeah. In
Actually, it
the
is inverted U shape. Yeah.
so here the pollution and per capita GDP.
But madam, here they have given bell shaped, na? Actually, it is inverted U shaped, na?
Uh, we can say
The
both
cor-
the thing. It can,
actually is very. You should not use. You should use the word inverted U shape.
Huh,
uh,
because in every economics book, it is inverted U shape.
yeah, it is inverted U shape, or no, it is a
Because bell shape is about, now there will be some confusion again.
sorry,
U
sorry.
shape, inverted U shape, they have given in all the books of environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
yeah, we can say it is an inverted U shape, or we can say the bell shape also. I think, yeah, in the books it is written inverted U shape. I agree on this. So that is the relation between pollution, a certain emission pollution, and the GDP per capita GDP. That is what I'm trying to make. So in the assignment, if you see, then you will have only option of inverted U shape. So there
Yes.
there the option is
Correct
inverted
answer
U
is
shape.
equal and per capita.
Sorry.
The relationship between pollution emission and per capita.
Yes, that is the answer, that we are saying emission and per capita GDP, or per capita income, you can say. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any more questions, or any doubt, or any suggestions? Okay. Next is the scale effect of economic growth have uh, either positive or negative impact on environmental quality. So can I have
Uh,
the answer?
negative impact. Negative impact on environmental.
Uh, yes. The scale effect will have always negative impact on the environmental quality. So as we have discussed that with increase in manufacturing number of production, then the environmental quality will be degraded. So it have always negative impact. Next is at higher stages of growth. So here I'm not talking about the overall, but when we increase the economic growth, what is the impact on the what is the impact of composition and technology, and the what technology on the environmental quality? So is it positive or negative? At when the economy increases, what is the impact of composition and technology, and is it higher or smaller than the impact of environmental scale effect. So the okay, anyway, you know the answer. So first,
A,
can I get
A is correct, right?
uh, the overall curve we are talking about? We are not talking from certain point. So can I get the? We are talking in general that when the growth, when there is economic growth or when the growth increases, what is the impact of composition and technology, and what is the impact of this scale? So which one is higher? And so okay, so here we are saying is that when per capita GDP or when there is growth in the economy, the composition and technology will have smaller impact compared to the environmental qualities, scale effect. So we are not talking about this point. Here we are saying X star, right? So after X star, we can say that the sorry after X star, we can say that the positive impact of composition and technology is higher. However, in general, the positive impact of composition and technology effect is smaller compared to the scale effect when the economy grows. Is it clear? Uh, shall I clarify it one more time? Okay, so sir, what I'm trying to say is that here, till X star, let's say till certain kind of per capita GDP, here the scale effect is higher. However, after X star, we can say that the scale effect is lower than composition and technology effect. So the composition and technology effect includes higher efficient technology and cleaner technology. So that is why the option 2 is correct. Is it clear? Do you want to make some points? Hello.
No.
Okay. Am I clear? Did I make the point? Okay. Yeah. Now we will go towards some of the basic principle of economy. So I think most of you are from economy background only. I am trying to learn the economy because my background is electrical engineering. So if I make any mistake, then please feel free to make correct me. So is there anyone which do not have background of economy? Then only I'll cover this part. Uh, Can I have hands up from anyone who do not know the supply demand curve and then indifference curve and all this? Otherwise, we can go to the week zero assignment. Hello. Is there anyone who do not have
Uh,
economy background?
Madam, maybe you can explain the indifference curve. Is something
Sure.
which I'm not clear.
Okay. So I'll just go through the supply demand curve also. Here, what we are trying to say is that uh, with in, with reduction in price, the demand for the certain quantity will increase. So the demand curve is steep downwards. Let's say that the price of a quantity is 100 rupees, then the demand is 20. When the price reduces, the demand increases. So this is how the demand curve is being represented. And then the supply curve is with increase in the price of a quantity, the production will be higher. So the quantity which is being produced will increase with increase in the price. So from here, how the optimal price and quantity of good is determined is in a perfect competitive market. we can say that the equilibrium point where the optimal quantity and optimal price is determined, at which the supply curve and demand curve intersect with each other. So here we can say that the price and quantity is optimal. So indifference curve is a set of bundles of goods. Like let's say you have X1 and X2, and then you have Y1 and Y2. So you have various kind of bundles of goods, but through the let's say X2 is chocolate and X1 is my biscuit. So if I ask you how many biscuit you want and how many chocolate you want, so if I say that I'll give you one biscuit, two chocolate, and then I will give you two biscuit, three chocolate. So you'll obviously choose higher number, right? X1 comma X2 and Y1 comma Y2, whichever is higher, then you'll ask it. But if I say that I will give you two chocolate, one biscuit, or I will give you one chocolate, two biscuit, then you are like, "Ki, I'm fine with both the thing. I'll be equally happy. I'll be equally. I want both the bundle equally." So this curve is the curve at which the consumers choice do not differ. Like the value of utility function at indifference curve is does not change. So that curve is known as indifference curve. So the slope of indifference curve is known as the marginal rate of substitution. So here the change in x2 with respect to change in x1 will be known as marginal rate of substitution. So let's say we have a student who wants to eat pizza per semester and burrito per semester. Let's say here there is 10 burrito and 15 pizza, and here there is uh, 15 burrito and 25 pizza. So from D point, E point is more optimal because the person is getting more number of burrito as well as pizza, right? But from E point, if we say C, then there is 25 burrito, so more number of burrito is there. However, the number of pizza is reduced. So this C and E point are known as indifference point, where the consumer's choice do not change. So this is the one. So they all the points below the indifference curve are less desirable compared to the all the points at indifference curve. However, if you say that at F point there is 20 burrito and 30, so this will be more preferred, but that will depend on other kind of parameters such as income and the price of goods. So the indifference curve is the curve where the consumers choice of choice between two goods do not change. So that is how it is being defined. Am I clear? Okay. So
Okay,
here,
okay.
uh, any questions which you want to make? So here we can say that all indifference curve, let's say the bundles in like all the point here, these are five characteristics which we can say that bundles on indifference curve farther from the origin are preferred to those which are closer to origin. So that is what I said. Let's say D and E. So if you say between D and E, you will choose E, right? Next is every bundle which you have choice. Let's say you have x1, x2, y1, y2. Every bundle will lie on any kind of indifference curve. Next one is indifference curve cannot cross each other. So let's say you have first indifference curve as I1 and I2, then you cannot cross this two indifference curve. Uh, then the next one is indifference curve will always slope downwards, and then the indifference curve cannot be thick. So these are various properties which we can explain by drawing the various points, and then you can see that uh, the marginal increase in good, let's say between D and B, if they are at straight line, then I will choose B because I am getting more number of pizza at a certain number of burritos, right? I am getting 10 burritos, but I am getting more pizza. So I'll choose B. So according to this, we can say that we can prove all these points. So that is it. So can we solve these questions which is related to the indifference curve only? So this is the utility function which we are given. So here the utility function is 12x1 and 4x2. So we are saying that what is the slope of indifference curve? So the slope of indifference curve is marginal rate of substitution, right? Change in quantity Q2 upon Q1. So here this will be equivalent to the change in utility function with respect to Q1 and Q2. So that will be minus U1 upon U2. So here we get minus 12 upon 4. So the answer is minus 3. Is it clear? Next one is two goods are perfect substitution if the consumer is willing to substitute one good to other at a. So can you try, sir? Now we are saying that let's say you have burrito and pizza, right? So when we say that these two goods are perfect substitution of each other, so can I get some response?
Constant.
Yeah, it is constant because I'll explain this way. So here, let's say that if the slope at all the points of indifference curve is constant, then we can say that these two, let's say any kind of product one and product two are perfect substitute of each other. And then the second one is perfect complement of each other. Let's say if we get this kind of curve, then the consumer will choose minimum of either one of them. Then we can say that the two products are complement of each other. They'll choose either one or two. Then the third one is imperfect substitution, in which we get this kind of curve. So is it clear? Okay, so these are various kind of utilities. I'll So, is anyone have any questions? So here we are saying that for perfect substitution of two goods, the rate of uh, marginal the slope of the curve is constant. So that is what we are trying to say. So next one is this question. According to Cardial approach, the utility or satisfaction of a consumer can be measured in qualitative, quantitative, monetary, fiscal. So,
Monetary.
mm, okay. Any monetary means you are saying that in terms of money.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else want to try?
B, ma'am. Quantitative.
Quantitative, right? So the quantitative is correct. So the utility function which we explain is that uh, explain gives us the relationship between utility measures of various bundles of goods, right? So, what is the utility compared to various kind of bundles of goods? So, in Cardinal approach, the utility is the measure of satisfaction, which is quantitative in nature. Let's say that here I have shown a utility function which is function of 12x1 plus 4x2. So x1 and x2 are uh, uh, first and second good, and 12 and 4 are the coefficients. So this is how the utilities are represented. So it is shown in quantitative method, not in monetary method. So am I clear? So it's saying that conservator. Let's say that if someone have to ask me that, are you happy with one pizza and one coke, two pizza and one coke, or one coke and two pizza? So this is my satisfaction level, that I'll be highest satisfied at what level. So this is measured in terms of quantity. So I hope I'm clear. Uh, Ma'am, did I clear
Yeah,
you?
yes.
Yeah, so
But
therefore it
the
is quantitative.
master's utility, we said that utility is measured with the help of money, huh?
Yes, marginal utility means that with change in price, what is the change in quantity which you are saying, right? So let's say that if the price of pizza increases by 1 rupees, then how many slices of pizza which you want to reduce, or so that is that then comes the price. But a utility curve
Okay,
is quantity dependent.
okay, okay, okay.
Yes. Any more doubt on this? Okay. In cordial approach, the marginal utility and difference in utility are directly interpretable with numbers. Like let's say that um, if I uh, if I increase the price of pizza by 1 rupees, what is the reduction in the demand of pizza? So that will be in numbers. But in ODL utility function, the marginal utility and difference in utility are only interpretable in terms of sign. So here we can say that I will choose, it will increase, it will reduce, but there is no specific numbers. So these are various kind of utility functions which we define. So if you look into a few examples of utility function, then you can say that perfect substitute utility function, which is defined as IQ1 plus JQ2. So I and J are coefficients, and Q1 and Q2 are quantities. So Q1 and next one is perfect complement, as we have seen before. So here the minimum of IQ1 and JQ2 is chosen. Then Cobb-Douglas utility function, where the utility function is given by Q1 power A and Q2 power 1 minus A, where A is less than 1. Next is constant elasticity of substitution function, and then the quasi-linear function. So these are various kind of utility function, but right now we were seeing only at perfect substitute, right? When we are trying to calculate the marginal rate of substitution, so this utility function is there. And Cobb-Douglas utility function is major one of the utility function which is used majority of the time. So okay. So now, can someone tell me what is inferior good, and what is the impact of income on the inferior good? Inferior goods. Can I get the answer to this question? Mm,
Income effect is negative, madam.
yes. Yes. Income effect is so. the income effect is so inferior goods are those goods for which the demand will reduce with increase in income. So this kind of good are known as inferior goods, right? So the goods which are low in quality. So if the income of one person is less, then they will use this product. However, with increase in income, the demand for the good will reduce. Therefore, inferior goods have negative impact on demand income, and the substitution effect is defined as the change in quantity of good that the consumer demands when the price increases. So, what is the uh, change in demand with respect to price is known as substitution effect. So here we can say that any kind of commodity, they are very, they are a person spends on a commodity very less percent of its income. So therefore, the impact of income effect is weaker compared to substitution effects. So therefore, we get the option D. So income effect of negative, however, weaker effect than the substitution effect. So substitution effect is dependent on price, and income effect is dependent on the income of person and what is the change in demand. Is there any question? Hello. Yes. Next is here, if we have two bundles of good, like let's say X1, X2, and Y1, Y2, then a consumer will. Are you trying to speak? I'm not. You are not audible actually. Hello. Okay. So here, uh, a consumer will choose Y1, Y2 strictly, then X1, X2. So the answer is this, where the Y1, Y2 will strictly more than X1, X2, then the consumer will choose the bundle of Y1, Y2 goods. Is there any question on this?
Madam, this question looks like a no-brainer question, no? Actually, what is the science here?
Okay. The science behind this is that not science, but it's economy behind this. So here we can say that what we have talked in indifference curve, right? So let's say that there is a point where you get x1, x2 amount of goods, and then there is another point where you get y1 and y2 amounts of goods. So the what will be the consumer preference? So strictly preferable. So there are three kinds of preferences: strictly preferable, then weakly preferable, and then the no difference kind of effect, right? So here we are saying that it will strictly prefer this bundle of good when the bundle of good is more than other bundle of good. Did I make the point? From indifference curve, you can say this.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Next one is about the externality. So, can any one of you tell me that let's say there is a two firm. One is located at upper level of the river, and the second one is at lower level. Let's say that they are both manufacturing something out of fish. Like let's say they are producing fish. Then firm A, if they are polluting the water, then what is the impact on firm B when they have to produce the fish? So will this be a positive or negative impact on the production of beef?
Yeah, negative production external.
Yes. So externality is So here the externality is defined as the impact of action of consumer or firm which is directly impacting the person's or another firm's well-being uh, without paying price for the impact. Let's say that the firm A is not paying the price of polluting water. However, the production of firm B is impacted, right? So this is negative externality. There can be positive externality also. So what we are trying to say is that I'm doing some kind of action, but my action is impacting someone else, but I'm not paying for this act. So that is how the externality can be termed as. It can be positive also, but here in terms of environment, we are saying that negative externality. So here the term is negative production externality. Is it clear? Okay, next one is an externality is present wherever some economic agent's welfare, utility, or profit is indirectly, unidirectly, directly. So the answer is sorry.
Answer is directly.
Yeah, that is right. So that is it for today. Uh, if you have any doubt or any discussions which you want to do, then please proceed further. If you want to discuss about any kind of topic or if you have any questions, then we can discuss that.
Yes, one general question, madam. See, I don't have any background in economics except reading some news and the newspapers. So, do you think that I can make sense of the topics?
I think, sir, let's say that actually I'm from electrical background. So this is my third year of PhD. So I started learning economics after coming here. So right now, this is like one of the most interesting correlation which I make with policy. So if you want to do the real life actions, like let's say, what are the government taking actions and what are the policy decisions? So it is totally dependent, related to the economics. So it makes sense. It makes sense in any kind of day-to-day action which you also take, right? So economy is all everywhere. So I think that uh, this will make sense. I hope, and this I'll try to make it more interactive from next sessions, and I'll try to bring more discussions. As today, I like the discussions when we talk about the real-time data which you are trying to say, right? So from next time we will I'll try to look into the per capita income of China, India, and then we will try to see that if at what point the India is landing. So these are all interesting interactions which I
Yeah.
want to make.
Yeah,
So
sure, madam. Generally, in the newspapers, we read because there's a lot of Uruguay, Kyoto Protocol. The discussion comes is that all the tug of war between developing and developed is. We always say that the US is the biggest polluter per capita, whereas India is far below that. So we should be exempted
mhm.
from some of the taxes. Okay, I
Yes.
think that is what is the contention, right, between developed and developing.
Yeah, that is what the EKC curve is also saying, right? That
Yeah.
the at like let's say that US they have already developed. So when they are trying to achieve certain kind of emissions, they have already used their own quota of emission, and then now they are developed and they are forcing the developing country also to reduce the emissions. But this will impact the economy of the developing countries. So it come at the cost of various other economic barrier. So
Yes,
therefore,
yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
therefore,
So yeah,
yes.
I think the other thing we have to take notice is see, even though US is the highest polluter per capita,
Mhm.
actually its pollution is exported pollution, right? They destroy forests in Amazon, They put all manufacturing in China, but actually per capita they are contributing more pollutions per capita. For example, if you take any US citizen, the amount of disposables they use, the amount of gas, petrol they use, and the fuel they use per home is significantly higher than any citizen on earth. So they are contributing to emissions per capita is highest. Even
Yeah.
though their country is protected, they are exported the emissions to other countries.
Yes.
Am I correct?
So,
That's it.
yeah, you are correct. And another thing is that when we calculate the emission of a country, we do not account for all this kind of emissions which you are saying, right? So there is some disparity in the number also. Like let's say that India is emitting this amount of emissions, but the in real calculations, the export import emission is always the question. So if I'm generating electricity from coal and exporting to Bhutan, so, will this emission will be ours, India's part of emission quota, or will it be included in the Bhutan? So that is the big question. So similar kind of calculations happens in terms of developing and developed countries. So the developed country imports various goods. However, the emission is included in the developing country, right? Or the country of origin. So there
Yeah, yeah.
is always a question that what is the real contribution which a country is making to the environmental degradation, and how much action that they are
Yes.
taking.
Yes,
So
yes, I got it. I got it. I got it. So,
yes.
yeah, so they may not have any emitting power plants, or they are not destroying their own forests, but by their consumption, what actually is measured in carbon footprint.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the amount of carbon footprint per person uses is higher, even though that footprint may be coming from destruction of forests in Amazon, or manufacturing something in India or China. But as an individual level, the carbon footprint consumption by US citizens is far higher. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, we can say so, but we have to check the numbers also exactly. But you are making correct statement that there is not always what we see, or what is accounted is not always the correct numbers, or correct form of
Yeah.
interpretation. So US is having higher efficient technology. However, they are also using inefficient technology in the developing country, right? So that is one point. But exact number of emissions, like let's say that US is per capita this carbon which is calculated is right now this much, and then since there is a high more production from this country, then we can add to the emissions. So that this exact number we cannot say, but we are making correct statements that the developed country are having more footprints of carbon in the other countries also. And yes, that is correct. And any more point anyone wants to make on the same statement, or anything else you want to discuss?
Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay, that is it. Thank you so much. So I'll end the meeting. If you have any question, you can mail me also. From next onwards, I'll try to make it more interactive as well as more data oriented, so that we can discuss over certain problems which we are facing, or uh, real life policy decisions, and then we'll discuss on this, uh, relating it to the course which we are studying. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining. Can I end the meeting, or anyone wants to make any kind of statements or any discussions, anything? Okay, that is it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. I'm ending the meeting.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.